Greetings, this is Deja Bliss. I wanted to talk a little bit about the twin dynamic in a relationship. And from my perspective, what this really is, of course, is recognizing that the twin lives in you. It is you. You have both masculine and feminine components, right? So when a person pops into your reality, they are, and it's, an opposite gender usually, or whoever it is that you're attracted to, they are showing up as that other aspect of you. So even if it's two of the same gender, one is representing masculine, one is representing feminine. So that's representing to you externally how you have been dealing with it internally. So if you don't like how it's showing up, then the job is to look at what you don't like about it. So you don't like how they don't talk to you enough, or how they're not communicating, or maybe there's a specific issue, maybe they're running away, maybe they're being with other people, whatever it is, that's how that component is functioning in you. So, for example, if my masculine component is showing up and saying, oh, I don't want to be committed, then I have to look at within me, where is my masculine component within not wanting to be committed? And when I can look at where that is and love that about myself and decide if I'm either going to commit or I'm going to just love that about myself and not change it, then either A, if I'm changing it, that external can change to mirror me because it's a mirror. Or B, I can learn to love that part of me that doesn't commit, say, to living a certain place, because that's kind of like me to gypsy. Then I can love that about me and love that about the masculine that shows up for me as well. And that does change the dynamic. It changes it when you can see it in yourself and shift the internal perception. So that's one part of this. The other part of this is recognizing that there is a maturation process that goes on within us. First on a physical level, right, when we grow and we mature and we go through puberty, and women go through this first, girls go through this first, and then the boys, right? So on a spiritual level, this is also true, that the women go through their spiritual awakening generally first, and then the men do. So the women had, by and large, we had each other when we were going through an awakening. And even if we had a man in our life and they were supporting us financially or whatever, generally speaking, they're holding space for us without really knowing what they're doing. You see this a lot. The man doesn't really know. He's supporting the woman's awakening journey, but he is, and he's doing it financially usually, or with a house, or just quietly while she does her thing. Well, it's different when the man is awakening. So right now, it is a widespread mass awakening going on, and many men are at the beginning of their awakening journey. So women, what is our job? What is our job in this time? Because what we're not seeing is a whole bunch of men who are already complete in their awakening, looking for the women who are awake. What we're seeing more of is the men who are starting to awaken and are attracted to awake women, and that is by design, because they're seeing how that awakening journey happens. They're modeling it. They're like needing space being held for them by the feminine. This is the old tantric model of the woman is the teacher. So the woman is holding the cauldron, holding the space generally. Sometimes it's a man that's embodying the feminine more and the woman's embodying the masculine more. It can go either way, but I'm generally talking about the masculine awakening process, and he's coming to the feminine, and all of this lifetime and generations of masculine wounding, which is part of our awakening, we look at our wounding, is coming to the surface for validation, okay, for love. And what's happening is these things are coming saying, I don't feel worthy of love. I'm bringing these things that are unworthy of love. Can you love this about me? And if we already have this, oh, we want our person to show up like this, we want them to be strong, we want them to be blah, 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 spiritual, intact, they know what to do already. We're asking for a mature relationship to be already intact even though we're in the transition team between the old world of relationship modeling and the new one. So our job is actually to rework the relationship modules. So we have to kind of like be the ones who are training. We have to be the ones who are holding space and saying, bring all your wounds, masculine, bring them to me, to the heart of the mother, because this is a mother wound healing as well. And say those wounds of separation, I love those about you. Those aches and pains, those are lovable. Those seemingly violent or bad things you've done, you're still lovable. Your way that you couldn't commit, or you couldn't show up, or you couldn't do this or that, like I love those about you too. And our job is to love unconditionally while the masculine unloads in our presence all of these seemingly unlovable things, right? Because we are creating a portal, a passageway into the new. And the new contains unconditional love relationships where people are both showing up together at their highest expression as twins, as one whole being. So the only way that can happen is for the feminine to say to her inner masculine, I love all those things about you. I understand you have wounding. I understand that you haven't been able to commit, that you've had these violent thoughts, that you've been enraged, that you've been injured, that you've had to abandon, that you, all the things that our man is going to now show us. Even the cheating, even the narcissism, we can say, where does that exist in me? Where might someone say that about me? And can I love that part of me? Is that a lovable trait? You know, and the truth is a human contains all elements. All the elements make up the wholeness. So if one is being emphasized, it is the one that we need to learn to love the most. And if I can take this back to a really big worldwide level right now, I think probably one of our biggest lessons is to learn to love the narcissist within us. So when we can do that, we can learn to love that inflated ego too. Even though we might not want to shine that as our first thing, but we can go, yeah, I have that in me, and I'm going to just pat that on the head and say, it's okay, little ego, I love you too. Then we don't have to see the blown up, distorted versions anymore. We can begin to feel wholeness and love within, and then our counterparts can show up as that loving example, that mirror of what's going on in us. We've got to stop blaming and finger pointing and thinking that they have to change, because they are only mirroring what we feel within us. So when we can allow the wounds to come, if the person that's the external mirror cannot meet the evolutionary journey that we are on, and once we have already accepted and loved that part of ourselves, either they're going to up-level or they're going to be replaced by one who is an equal match. So either they're going to up-level to meet us, or they're going to be replaced by one who's of equal vibration to the new us that we are embodying. Does that make sense? So, go forth and love thyself fully, and watch your relationships shift. This takes patience, this takes endurance, this takes a deep level of surrender and trust, and a surety and a confidence that love does conquer all. And every single human on the planet, every single one of us, wants unconditional love. That is the only thing that every person truly wants, and why it conquers all, because at the end of the day, the person who stands and holds space for you through all of your shit and says, you know what, I don't care about any of that, I still love you. Just like a mother does for her child. And we can do that for each other. Our relationships will evolve, and we will enter a new era of relationship. Right now we're in transition, and the alchemy is needed within and in these unions. If you need support with this, reach out to me. I'm happy to do sessions and consulting in this regard. I have a couple of books out there that can help you in this way. Redefining Relationships is on Amazon. The Alchemy of Relationship and Creating Create Your Life, Not Just Babies, which is a sexual empowerment book talking about taking back our power in the bedroom and what we can create together there. So thank you for tuning in. See you next time.